In the 80s, Twin Peaks creator David Lynch and Mark Frost were well on their way to making names for themselves. Frost had spent 3 years writing for the very successful Hill Street Blues. Very pissed off I can't find that on streaming without paying for it right now. But whatever. Which would feature a large cast of characters with ongoing and in-depth storylines. Lynch had been making a name for himself in the cinematic world, having had successes with 1980's The Elephant Man and 1986's Blue Velvet. Shortly after Blue Velvet, both men would be tapped by Warner Brothers to make a biopic about Marilyn Monroe titled Venus Ascending, based off of the novel Goddess. While Lynch thought the prospect was interesting and he was drawn to the idea of a woman in trouble, he wasn't quite sold on it as it was a real-life story, not a work of fiction. The project never came together, but Lynch and Frost had formed a strong friendship. A second attempt at getting a project off the ground would see the pair acting as a writer and director for a Steve Martin project titled Saliva Bubble, which sounded interesting. Horrible name.
Does he play the banjo in it?
I have no idea, because...
It's a C.S. Lewisian level of naming of a project there.
Yes. Yeah. Oddly enough, the film would be about a magician's nephew. But this, too, would not make it into production. Lynch's agent, Tony Krantz, tried to encourage him to take a stab at TV, but Lynch was adamant that he did not want to do a TV show. Are you guys aware of Lynch's issues with TV? His issues with TV versus what he saw in TV. Do you dive into this at all?
No.
So you got to think he's coming up and TV's becoming more and more prevalent. He saw it as a progression of an art form, a way to expose people on new things, and was excited about it. But ultimately, part of his detraction of it was he saw what TV very quick, almost instantly became, the consumerism of it, the corporate structure of it, the tool for advertising. And in my own words, I kind of feel like he felt like it was bastardized, and he did not like that. So I don't think he, at the time, really, and I can't, given who he was as a director, I can see why he would feel that way about TV, and I can't say that I necessarily disagree with him based on what it very quickly became and was from the 1950s well through the 80s. So I didn't know if you guys had ever looked into that. I don't know how much you guys had really dove into David Lynch, and
I've just watched many of his films.
Yeah.
But he's always been a bit of an enigma and had that kind of I don't know, just image that's like I don't need to know everything about this guy. I don't want to know everything about this guy.
Yeah.
Just I like that he exists. I don't like everything that he does, but I like enough of it that I'm always going to come back for more.
yeah.
The level that I dove in again was like his IMDb, and it was interesting, like how much stuff he did. A lot of work, and it wasn't always movies. He would do just little shorts or like music videos.
He acted in the Fabelmans movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He plays John
Spielberg.
Ford. It's great.
They tell me you want to be a picture maker.
Yes, sir, I do.
Why? This business, it'll rip you apart.
Well, Mr. Ford,
So what do you know about art, kid?
I love your movies so much.
No art. See that painting over there?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Yes, I do see it.
Walk over to it. Well, what's in it? Describe it.
Oh, okay. So there are two guys, and they're on horseback, and they're looking for something. So maybe they're scouting.
No. Where's the horizon?
The horizon?
Where is it?
It's at the bottom.
That's right. Walk over to this painting. Well?
Right, okay, so there are 5 cowboys, they
No. Where's the goddamn horizon?
It's there.
Where?
At the top of the painting.
All right, get over here. Now remember this. When the horizon's at the bottom, it's interesting. When the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. When the horizon's in the middle, it's boring as shit. Now, good luck to you. And get the fuck out of my office.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
He played himself on I think the Cleveland show. He was a bartender.
I know he did just as far as acting. I was speaking more of directing, but he was as an actor. He was in the show Louis C.K.'s FX show.
Oh, was he?
For like an episode or two, like getting Louis ready to take Jay Leno's or David Letterman's spot.
So you want to take over for Letterman? You want to host Late Show on CBS?
Yeah, that's...
Well, here's the thing with that, champ. That's short for champion. If you want to be a talk show host, it's better if you're funny. Now, there have been some guys who are not funny. Tom Snyder, David Susskind, Ted Koppel. But funny's better. Now, have you ever had any experience with being funny?
Yeah, I'm a comedian.
You're a comedian. I've known you for a week and you haven't made me laugh once. I had no idea you were a comedian. I thought you were a newsman.
No, I'm not a newsman. I'm a comedian. Jesus.
Well, all right, let's see it.
See what?
See the funny. Make me laugh. Go.
Go?
Go. Funny. 3, 2, 1. Go.
I'm not that kind of funny.
What kind of funny?
That kind where you just say go and I'm funny.
All right, I think you better leave my office.
Jack, Mr. Dole, I look, there's different kinds of funny, right? There's different kinds of performers. I'm not that kind of performer.
Let me tell you what you are. You're whatever you have to be to make people laugh. Anytime, anywhere, anyone. You turn it on a dime. You get that belly moving, son, or you're out. Now tell the truth. You're just scared. Like a rookie. You're like some kid at a talent show with a number pinned to your shirt. You got nothing or you would have shown me now. So get out. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Like as a late night host, he was preparing him to be a late night host.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
And it was funny. It was funny. He's. I don't think you can tell him to be a character. He's just going to be some weird,
no, David Lynch is David
weird
Lynch.
version of himself. And if you're smart, you know that when you hire him, and that's what you want for that character.
Right.
I will say this. I went into this not getting David Lynch. And that's been... I've seen parts of Blue Velvet. I tried giving Lost Highway a shot back in high school.
Mulholland Drive?
I've never seen Mulholland Drive.
That one stuck with me.
It was always on the list, but like after seeing like, and unfortunately, maybe I was just exposed to the wrong things at the wrong time, such as trying to watch Fire Walk with Me with zero fucking context.
See, I've never seen that.
And trying to watch Lost Highway with having almost no context to David Lynch in general.
Great soundtrack, though.
Oh, awesome soundtrack. I will say that. Plus Robert Loggia. But having watched some video essays and having started to dive into this and the history of it, I maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I have walked away with a greater appreciation of him and a far better understanding than I ever had of him. And now learning that this show, if you would have tried to get me to watch this show 10 years ago, wouldn't have made jack shit sense to me. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it.
This is my promise to you. I will never try to get you to watch a show. You watch whatever show you want, buddy.
Really?
You do you. I'll never make you do anything you don't want to do.
You're my oldest friend.
Now give me
Jay.
a cup of coffee.
Damn fine cup of coffee. Damn fine.
Oh, afternoon, guys. Would you like some coffee?
Afternoon, Shelley, yes. Well, we should be on our way. Harry, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it. Don't wait for it. Just let it happen. Could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this.
A present. Like Christmas.
Oh, man, that hits the spot. Nothing like a great cup of black coffee.
Having the idea framed to him as basically trying his own view of America as a show, essentially Blue Velvet for TV, because Blue Velvet did incredible at the box office.
Yeah, and he brought back some of the same people.
Yeah, well, yeah, Kyle MacLachlan was in that.
Yeah.
Well, in the mix here
No
too.
Dennis Hopper though.
In the mix here too, he
got
also
Ray
did.
Wise.
He also did Dune.
Yeah,
And Dune tanked,
Yeah.
and it almost took. He did Dune after The Elephant Man, and Dune almost took him with it.
But Dune has since become like a cult classic for him. What you say?
Yeah, people.
it has its audience for sure.
It has its audience,
Yeah.
but like originally, and you gotta think this is during the time of like fucking Star Wars and
Yeah,
shit.
it was a trilogy.
and it was a series of novels and stuff. People are like, okay, this is gonna be the next Star Wars, and it wasn't. And like to the point that they may be worth more now because it was here and gone. There were Dune figures for that original movie. Once upon a time,
Speedo Sting.
probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
I never saw it. I'm aware of it. I know he directed,
Same.
but
I
never saw
tried
it.
watching it once, and I thought it was fucking boring.
I never saw the new
I'm
ones
not
either.
into Dune.
Yeah, I don't really care about that.
Yeah,
Just the popcorn bucket.
Well,
doesn't matter why.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Does not matter why.
It doesn't matter why I cut another end off, and Derek and I enjoy the bucket at the same time.
We're just
All
spending
right?
time together because we're
Yeah.
lifelong friends.
Yeah. So whatever you're thinking, Dustin,
Yeah.
get that right out of your head.
Okay.
You should eat your fucking donut, man.
Whoa.
Eat your donut and stop making fun of the handicap.
Actually, can I borrow that donut? I'm gonna put it in the bucket.
Bavarian cream. No, you had that one. Mine's a jelly.
Oh, I'm getting the other half. That's why we have 2 holes in the bucket.
Huh?
What? What? I don't know. Frost also saw a story that utilized Dickensian storytelling, showcasing many lives in the same setting. Initially, the show was to be called North Dakota and would be set in the Great Plains of North Dakota, but as there are not many trees there, and Lynch wanted some damn trees, and they feature very heavily in Twin Peaks, not only for visual aesthetics, but also for some symbolism as well. Lynch opted for a forested Pacific Northwest.
Coen Brothers gave North Dakota their flowers eventually.
Good on them. Setting the story in Washington, and changed the name to Northwest Passage, which ended up being the name of the pilot, Northwest Passage. In the weeks that followed, the town was developed first. So they'd have these some meetings together, like, let's flesh this out and let's build this out. So they started by building out the idea of the town, which to me makes sense because Twin Peaks is its own character. The town of Twin Peaks is a character when you really get down to it. So they draw a map, established that a sawmill would be central to the town, and eventually came up with the image of a body washing up on shore. Once they had visualized where everything in town was and what its layout and rules were, they could have a plan for what the atmosphere to the town would be, which in turn would influence what sort of things could happen there. Soon, Lynch came up with the idea of your typical model girl next door leading a very dark, desperate double life that stood in great contrast to the good and decent acts she'd engage in, her actions ultimately resulting in her murder. This part of the vision was inspired by the actual unsolved 1908 murder of Hazel Irene Drew in Sand Lake, New York. Fun fact. Well, I wouldn't call it fun because, I mean, she was killed.
Yeah. You just called it fun.
I know. It's a faux pas.
All right.
Not a fupa.
Forgiven.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Gaff.
It is a gaff. Leave it in. Not unlike the flickering fluorescent light in the medical examiner's office in the pilot.
The pilot, Bob is in the pilot?
Yes.
I missed it. I watched the pilot last night.
Not on Front Street. So we kind of talked about it in the interview.
He's in the mirror.
He's in the mirror, and it was
It was an accident.
it was a complete accident.
But it's the lady that has the visions, so it works.
So they're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then
because Bob is he was not an actor. He was a guy.
Was a set dresser.
He was a guy working as a crew member, and then he's all of a sudden
and he
accidentally in the show.
He blocked himself. You go ahead.
I thought of a way to make this reference that you will understand.
Perfect.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes.
When the bike is revealed, there's a production assistant or somebody that when the garage door is raising up, they're standing with their back to the camera, and then they turn real quick when they realize they're on screen, but you see their arm for a split second. It would be like Tim Burton then writing in, oh, that's the guy who stole the bike. He was in there, and that's who it was, and weaves it into the conspiracy. Instead, they just ignore it because it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Like when the stormtrooper that hits his head on the door when
Yes,
he's
I am familiar with
entering
that
on the
one.
Death Star. That they didn't give that stormtrooper a backstory that he has depth perception issues.
They should have though.
Yeah, it would explain their aim, but they let it go.
Can you imagine cloning an entire army of guys who had bad aim?
I know, right? Does that just speak to the degenerative issue of clones?
Well, if they age that quickly, then one would guess that yes, they would also degenerate. That
You're
quickly.
aging them up.
But that is interesting. But it's a falling ass backwards into it. It was a mistake, and they're like, well, we don't really know where the series is going anyway. Remember that guy in the mirror?
Yeah, anything is fair game.
Guess what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Laura Palmer wrapped herself up.
Boston cream.
Yeah, it was an accident. She was supposed to be she was the star of the whole series.
In plastic.
She died in the first fucking couple minutes.
She's dead.
You're doing that? You're getting a divorce.
What? No, I'm not doing that at home. I'm not dancing about.
You know what? I take it back. I bet Shauna would ruin the bed if you snuck up on her and said she's dead.
Just naked with a fisherman's cap.
Yeah. She loves all that murder show stuff.
Oh, it'd make her so horny.
You should say, I'm going to wrap you up in plastic. See what happens there.
I'm going to wrap you up in plastic.
You do a little Twin Peaks role playing.
Just make sure the door's locked. You don't need Henry walking in on that kind of.
No,
shit.
Henry's the arm. You get Henry a little red suit dancing around the house.
Talking backwards. Making fun of the handicapped. His mom's going to love it.
Oh, yeah, that'll go over like a lead friggin'
Derek looks
balloon.
like the Gordon Fisherman, but he's talking like Rick Martel, the model there, or whatever. And then, of
Talking
course,
like old Chief from Fox and the Hound.
just naked as a jaybird.
and then you wrap her up in plastic, and you guys have yourself a little
have ourselves a real good time.
nice Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. You get Richard Hoover on the phone, speakerphone. Boom, slam dunk.
Boom, slam, dunk, shot. Meanwhile, at this time in the mid to late 80s, ABC had slipped behind in the ratings. Once the powerhouse of the big three networks in a pre-Fox world due to NBC's abysmal performance in the late 70s and into the 80s, NBC had been on a roll of a renaissance, pulling ahead in the ratings and leaving ABC and CBS far behind them. It was during the 1988 Writers Guild of America strike that ABC network head for drama, Chad Hoffman, took a pitch meeting with Lynch and Frost that only lasted a fateful 10 minutes. As it's been retold, it was explained that the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer would be the catalyst for the series, but in time, the importance of and the urgency regarding the murder would recede and make way for a focus on the eclectic and quirky characters of this odd North Pacific mill town. Which I found myself thinking about that a lot in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Like, that really does, if you allow yourself to experience the show in the way Lynch intended, I don't want to say you stop caring about the murder, but it's almost like, yeah, okay, there's a murder and they're going to solve it. What's happening with these characters and what's happening with this and what's this and what's
soap
that?
opera.
Yeah, yeah, and they really leaned into parodying soap operas in a big
at
way.
some point.
There's a soap opera in it, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a show within a show,
But
Invitation to Love.
I think they forget that they're parodying a soap opera and just become a soap opera. It is a soap opera. How many characters are like, this guy died, and it's like 3 episodes later, he's like, I'm alive. You know, like the girl who owns the sawmill, her husband's dead. He's not dead. He comes back, right?
Not dead. Comes back in season 2.
Yeah, and some people that are shot, and you think, these people are alive. You know?
Sometimes they dress up as Asians.
Yeah, sometimes you have some yellow face.
Yeah.
This yellow face is alive.
This is a soap opera.
Yeah.
This is a soap opera.
Which is what wrestling is, but there's fighting.
Rope opera.
Well, that's rope opera. Of
Rope
course.
opera, baby.
But it's somehow David Lynch snuck it on the TV.
He sure did.
Into prime time. That's insane.
Opposite of Cheers.
If your network is doing bad, I guess you take a crazy swing like
You
that.
take some swings, man.
'Cause
You
nothing-
take some crazy ass swings.
Here's something that's adjacent maybe to this, and that is the show Northern Exposure.
Oh, see, I watched that
I found
one.
myself thinking about that show a lot while researching this and watching.
Well, it was as quirky, not nearly as dark.
No,
And it wasn't
it's much lighter.
It wasn't parodying anything really. It's just being its own
Slice of life.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was filmed on location. I feel like it was because it felt real. You can really feel when people are outside versus an establishing shot and something that's like a set or a stage, you know. And so something about Northern Exposure felt real. There's
Dr.
no
Fleischman.
no laugh track, and it was this kind of quirky comedy. I think it was an hour long each episode. I don't remember exactly, but
I haven't watched it in years. I don't know if it was half hour. I think it was an hour.
this is overlapping like almost entirely with Twin Peaks, right? That show probably lasted 5 seasons. Northern Exposure,
I think 5 or 6.
It had to overlap exactly with Twin Peaks, right?
I only watched the first couple, but that's weird because the last time I watched Northern Exposure was around the first pass at Twin Peaks. So that would make sense, I guess, that it's like, oh, revisit these like 10 years after their run and they're released on DVD. I got them from Netflix when it was the mail order thing. I was like,
oh, yeah,
let's watch some TV shows I never got to see. And Northern Exposure was one and Twin Peaks was the other. And
that's how you watched both of those.
Yeah, I was getting I'd finish the DVD of one and mail it in, and then while I was waiting for the next DVD of that, I'd watch the other show.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd have like 3 DVDs at a time, and you just get them in a rotation.
Yep.
That's old school Netflix.
That's old school, baby. We were analog through the mail. Uphill both ways. Additionally, Frost and Lynch explained they wanted to blend elements of police procedurals with elements of soap operas, which they did roundly. ABC liked the idea and asked the pair to script a pilot. ABC president of entertainment Brandon Stoddard would order the pilot with a budget of $4 million. A lot of fucking cheddar back then, right?
I mean, well, I don't know if he knew he was making like a backdoor pilot or whatever with this made-for-TV movie. You know, this is 90 minutes. $4 million is a lot.
Well,
but
it was only gone into with the intention of being a pilot, but part of this process would be, Lynch would insist on Final Cut, which that tracks. ABC would end up insisting on, okay, but shoot an alternate ending that wraps it up as a singular story to sell it as a movie if it doesn't go to series to foreign markets. So I think the intention was always, yes, a pilot, but you're going to need to film some shit just in case.
This came post Elephant Man, correct?
Oh yeah, Elephant Man was 1980.
So Elephant, obviously there was color film
Yes.
back in 1980, but the Elephant Man, I believe, was black and white.
Black and white.
And who was the star of it? I can never remember. It was
Anthony Hopkins was in
Yes.
it. I can't remember who played.
Wasn't he the Elephant Man or not?
No, Anthony Hopkins wasn't the Elephant.
I thought someone notable was
I know John Hurt was in it, but I don't know who played the Elephant Man, to be honest.
Either way, it was this almost a surprising hit by a weird director.
Yeah,
and I think that
he fucking won an Oscar,
and it must have given him a certain amount of cachet that led him into doing a $4 million pilot.
Yeah,
it's expensive.
Well, and like I had kind of said, like he did Elephant Man, he did Dune. Dune almost ruined his career.
Oh, Dune was before Twin Peaks too. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Blue Velvet was like kind of a critical darling, and people loved it. It was a box office hit. It was this dark take on Americana. It really struck a chord with America, and that is kind of what led to you should take a shot at TV. And I don't want to say he was like it was David Lynch's return, but it definitely like showed people like, okay, Dune was a fluke. Dune was a fucking mess. This dude can still throw together a movie. Because originally Dune was
84 and Velvet was 86.
86, and I feel like there was something in between there, but
he did Wild at Heart, kind of, that came out after the pilot, but before the show started, maybe.
Yes, I'm trying to think something between Dune and Blue Velvet.
There's nothing between there.
Okay,
Elephant Man.
Academy 4.
He did do Mission to Moscow.
He did.
Who was the Elephant Man? Oh, it was John Hurt.
Was it John Hurt? Okay,
playing John Merrick.
That's exactly it.
Peter O'Toole.
It looks like Laurence Olivier is in this.
Okay.
He was the Elephant Woman.
Yes, with John Goodman. And the intended 2-hour opener would be for a fall 1989 debut. Stoddard would, however, step down in March just as Lynch was starting production. ABC's Bob Iger and his creative team would eventually come on as oversight for the pilot, and Iger loved it.
He's the head of Disney still.
He only had one problem. Other executives did not love it. Iger, ever a champion for the series, would then push to have younger audiences. Iger and Lynch both pushed to have younger audiences act as screen test participants, and their reactions were overwhelmingly more positive. This would help Iger persuade the network to order 7 more episodes at just over $1 million a pop. Many execs didn't think the show would make it to air. Several thought at best it would just be a miniseries. But Iger was determined, and he even planned on it being a spring 1990 debut. It all came down to a teleconference with executives in the New York offices where Iger evidently had a bit of a showdown regarding the series, took everybody to task, and in the end, Iger won, and Twin Peaks, of course, would debut April of 1990. With that, the show was up and running, and it was a hit. Sorta. Critics were mixed on it, some stating they would be surprised if the show made it, and also stating it wasn't commercial enough, it was too jarring for middle America, while others, on the other hand, praised its ambition. There was initial audience drop-off, but it didn't help that Twin Peaks was scheduled against NBC's 80s sitcom juggernaut Cheers. People at ABC specifically had been trying to dethrone Cheers on Thursday nights for years.
I believe Cheers went 11 seasons.
I do believe it did.
And it's one of those final episodes, it's like, it got like 80% of the audience of MASH, and MASH is the biggest thing that ever happened on. You know, it's like 11 seasons and still being that popular is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And everyone would probably try to attempt to dethrone that. And I think if you did, the feather in the cap that'd be.
I think at the time they had Dallas. Is it Dallas? Or was Dallas CBS?
Dynasty. I don't know.
Dynasty.
Falcon Crest.
Knots Landing.
They had
Knott's Berry Farm.
Ooh, let's go.
Don Knott's Berry Farm. Oh! Yeah, you come to taste my berries, did ya? Don Knott's going well.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles around the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
They couldn't dethrone it. They couldn't. They just couldn't do it. But that pilot episode managed to pull ahead of Cheers in the ratings. But it was just a pun.
It's probably that episode of Cheers where they're on fucking Jeopardy. When they're really like scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Really, like, they're on Gilligan's Island with the Harlem Globetrotters. Woody loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
He's in the back.
At this point, Coach
He's getting high with the Washington Generals.
Oh, absolutely. However, as the season finale approached, ABC slid the show over to Wednesday night, and the viewership skyrocketed. By the end of season 1, all of America was asking, who the fuck?
Were they going against Jonathan Singleman's The Single Guy?
Oh, that was no. That's later in
Caroline
the 90s,
in
my
the
friend.
City.
No,
They were going against. Of
Mad
course,
About You.
They easily toppled Caroline in the City.
I watched it.
Those fuckers weren't till like the mid 90s.
They crushed Jamie Lee Curtis's "Anything But Love." That's probably about right.
Hello, Cool J's, man of the house.
Actually, yeah, you're right. That was a Sunday night show.
Richard Lewis is a recurring alcoholic, now dead.
Dabney Coleman in
Drexel's Class.
Madman of the City.
Major Dad's season premiere was destroyed by Twin Peaks.
Evening Shade had no recovery.
Evening that was
Picket Fences.
Burt Reynolds.
And Burt Reynolds has
Picket Fences is
the
gonna come up.
audacity
The
to like
of it all.
shit on his performance or the movie Boogie Nights, and yet he does fucking Evening Shade.
Yeah, no shit.
Go fuck yourself.
Calm down.
Go fucking kill yourself, man.
Fuck off, Turd Ferguson. Fuck you.
Who are we
Fuck
mad at?
you.
I forget.
Okay.
Cannonball
The
Run.
arm.
The arm, yes.
Henry running around in his skin tight red suit. we should with a zero context just start calling him the arm. to his fucking little face. To his little fucking adorable.
He's gonna go to school and be like, they call me the arm.
Call me the arm. And
Don't mess with me.
They're going to fear him.
Adults call me the arm.
Yeah.
See these guns?
Fuck.
There's two of these.
Got two of these. But yes, everybody was asking who killed Laura Palmer. Only Lynch and Frost weren't going to give in until some dumbass ABC exec opened their big dumb mouth and made a guarantee that the killer of Laura Palmer would be revealed. So ABC ends up shitting the bed. Ahead of the season 1 finale, they came out and said the killer would be revealed, which was news to Lynch and Frost, as history, of course, shows that the finale came and went with no such revelation.
Yeah.
I'm immediately reminded of the ad campaign when season 2 was coming up, where they say, you tune in this season and find out who killed Laura Palmer.
And then
really?
And then they
really
just
mean
cut to the old guy that brought the warm milk to Cooper, and he's just giving a thumbs up.
How fucking
back and
crazy
forth.
is that fucking season
He comes
opener?
back 3 times.
He's laying.
He's bleeding out on the floor.
He's got a gut shot on him, and just he
that.
goes, "Here comes this fucking."
You want me to put it on the table?
Oh, I hung up the phone for you.
It's gonna get
he keeps
cold.
turning around and coming back in. Coop's just laying on the ground. Thumbs up.
That's from an episode?
That's from the season 2 premiere.
The end of season 1, Kyle MacLachlan gets shot.
Yes.
And then it opens
Like
with
3
him.
times.
It opens with him like seamlessly.
Yeah.
From the end of the last season.
Just laid
and
out.
this old guy comes to bring him.
Is that the gift from earlier?
Yes.
You said the old man in our group text.
I
yes.
was
Okay.
very happy with that gift.
I've not watched it in a long time.
Oh, goodness.
That guy was the
Do yourself a
MVP
favor.
of season 2, episode 1 for me. I was laughing harder than I had at anything from season 1. I was like, all right, season 2, I see where we're going. I'm strapping in.
He's in his hotel room, right?
Let's fucking go.
He
At the
gets
Great
shot,
Northern.
and then the old guy comes in with some milk, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, he called down to the desk and like ordered like milk and I think something else.
And he's telling him, like, call the police. Like, I've been shot.
I've
and the
been
guy just
shot.
picks up the phone because Andy's on the other line.
Yeah.
And has been for minutes.
Deputy Andy.
Agent Cooper, are you there? Are you there? And the old guy just hangs the phone up and then gives him a thumbs up and then leaves.
But no. But then comes back in the room, gives him another thumbs up.
I know
And
who you are. I've seen what you've been doing. Good job.
And the whole time, Coop is just laid the fuck out. One of the gunshot wounds is
There's
bleeding.
blood.
Just blood. And he just keeps... Every time the old man comes in, gives a thumbs up, he just...
Completely oblivious.
Eyes closed, half-lidded, gives a thumbs up.
And then the cavalry comes. And the
yes.
joke's over.
Yeah, the joke is over.
But it goes on for much longer than I expected it to.
Now, I'm curious, week to week, because obviously this was a phenomenon that gripped the nation.
Oh God, yeah.
But I'm curious week to week where those ratings went, because if they started to go down, if they feel like people were getting sick of the show, they tuned in a handful of times because they heard about it. It's the talk of the water cooler. It's weird and quirky. Got people to tune in, but they're like, we want to know who fucking killed this lady. And so are people getting sick of it? And that's why ABC, it was ABC, right? ABC said, hey, you gotta tell people who killed it. Or where ABC was just like, this is unprecedented. The murderer has to be revealed.
Yeah, clearly you're going to tell us.
Well, and we see a character in season 1 who carries into season 2. Another special agent, Albert Rosenfield. He's a medical examiner and forensics expert, played by Miguel Ferrer. I feel like I always say
Law
his
and
name
Order,
wrong.
R.I.P.
He might have been.
He's a character actor.
He might have been
everything.
early Law and Order, but
He's kind of a
he was a
dick.
bad guy in Blank Check.
He's in RoboCop, right?
He was in RoboCop.
Yeah.
I love the dude. He is such a great fucking character actor. He just has such an asshole way about him when he wants to.
He's great.
And he ramps up the asshole in this because he is like, he's by the book and I want answers. And his character, it's been surmised, is more or less supposed to represent, the general viewing public and execs. Like, we want an answer. We want this case wrapped up. And that's why he's not a traditional villain, but he is kind of presented as a bit of a heel because Lynch didn't want to give away.
He's just an antagonist almost exclusively to Kyle MacLachlan's character.
And he's just shitty towards the town. He's shitty towards the police there, and like, to the point that Harry decks him in season 1 and gives him a black eye. But yes, I when they moved it to Wednesday night, the ratings kicked the fuck back up because they stopped trying to pit it against Cheers, which was just a dumb idea at the time. You were not going to unset Cheers. It wasn't going to happen. So fuck it. Just give up Thursday. Do something on a different night. You have 6 other nights to choose from. ABC, I feel, started getting cold feet, and it's like, well, no, you need to wrap this up. They wanted forced conformity and methodology and formulaic shit of a police procedural or a primetime drama of like, no, you need to wrap up this murder because next season's going to be the next story, and then the next story, and then the next story. You also have to think that at the time, there wasn't a whole lot of shows that had overarching narratives at the time.
Yeah.
It was, this is this week's adventure. This is this week's adventure.
It's an anthology show with the same characters.
Yeah. You'd have some shows that would have like overarching things here and there. Like Miami Vice had certain things that would carry through a whole season.
But largely there's a crime or a criminal you're tracking down each one.
Yeah. It's very much a rinse and repeat methodology.
Back when the show was
reset at the end of every episode, so you're ready for a new adventure next week.
It doesn't matter for the viewing public; they can jump in anytime and be right on board. When at the time that this show was being released on a network, it was probably standard for you to have 20 to 24 episodes a season. The first season had 8 episodes.
Well, it was a spring replacement.
And then the second season had 22 episodes.
22.
Because I believe there's a total of 30 in that original run.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, a third of the way through the second season you find out who the killer is. So we're only like 15 or 16 episodes in, and they already tell you who the killer is.
Yeah, they push it.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. When you're saying we find out, you're talking about a third of the way into...
Isn't it like the 7th episode of the second season?
I will say I've looked at the IMDb reviews, and the 7th episode has a much higher rating than several of the
7th
others.
episode. I think it is the 7th.
You're talking 7th episode of
I was
season
trying
1?
to get to that one, but I think I've only gotten to episode 5 or 6.
That's what I'm saying.
Season
15
2.
episodes altogether.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Into the series.
I must have misheard you. I didn't know if you were talking about episode 7 of season 1 or episode 7 of season 2.
So for a show that was like never going to reveal who the killer is, and they were forced to do it.
Yeah,
half of the
Halfway.
episodes that they were making, they were just like, I guess this person's nuts, or this person came back from the dead now. That after the killer is revealed, it really just starts flapping in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
And that's half of the series. That's 50% of all episodes are after the killer's revealed, and we lose interest, and the show gets real weird.
Oh, yes.
David Lynch was made for making movies, and at the very least, he should have been like, oh, yeah, Twin Peaks is cool. Let's do a limited run thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll give you 12 episodes. How's that sound? But
and
no,
maybe it would have
Like
played
True
better.
Detective.
Yeah, maybe it would have
that's-
played
that's a-
better as like a mini series, like some execs thought. And I mean, part of that is, again, they forced his hand. They had to make a decision. You kind of made a joke about it. Well, good luck, Mark Frost. There comes a point. He's like, okay, I'm out. And his character of an agent disappears from the show for a bit. He's not involved at all with the show. And in my opinion, you have a staff of writers. This is part of why it just goes off the fucking rails. I think you have a staff of traditional writers who are trying to collectively manufacture Lynchisms.
Yeah.
And they can't do
They're
it
just
because
being weird for weird.
There's,
Yeah.
there's only one David Lynch.
yeah, there's only one David Lynch.
Yeah.
You're trying to lynch it up. You're trying to give your approximation of David Lynch when, no offense, I'm sure they were all competent writers in their own right. And maybe those different staff writers went on to other things and did a great job. But in the sandbox you were playing it, you had no business in that sandbox. Not doing it without the Grand Pumbaa to lead you through this. You then tried approximating what he did, and you're not him. I hate to put it that way. It sounds a lot meaner than I want it to, but you're trying to do a facsimile of something very specific. It's going to pale in comparison. So as far as like how this was affecting the pop culture at the time, the whole question of, are we going to find out who killed Laura Palmer and what have you? It ended up permeating even the SNL because Kyle MacLachlan hosted the season opener for season 16. It is in his monologue. There ended up being a Twin Peaks sketch with Conan O'Brien playing Deputy Andy. But yeah, I mean, Lynch and Frost felt like their hands were forced by ABC. They demanded resolution to this, which again was in direct conflict with what the pair envisioned for the show and how they pitched the show. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they never, ever, ever wanted it revealed. Lynch was adamant about, in his own words, Laura Palmer's murder is sacred. It's a golden goose. It's constantly laying eggs. I never wanted to reveal it. Is that practical? No, it's not practical. And like to your point, he's like, probably should have stuck with movies or done a miniseries if that's truly what you were 100% adamant about. However, I see his point.
I don't need an answer to everything,
Yeah.
There's plenty of great moments in pop culture where something wasn't answered and people complain about it, like the Sopranos ending or something. It's like, no, I think the ending is fantastic. Was he live or does he die? Who fuck cares?
Who cares?
It's up to you.
It was a great ending, and yeah, if David Lynch if that was his master vision, then yeah, let him do what he does. There's a reason you hired that guy.
Yeah.
Let him do what he does. He'll work within the confines
David
of
Lynch
the
Lynch.
ratings of television. As far as nudity or violence, he'll work within that. But let him tell his story his way.
Not holster that. Just at the top of my, I have a standards and practices story.
Oh, I was just going to say, whether he was successful in telling his story or not, it was definitely influential and set the table for a lot of future great media to be made that maybe
Like
wouldn't
Caroline in the City.
maybe wouldn't have gone
Suddenly
as
Susan.
far wackadoo.
Yeah.
Had Twin Peaks not come before it.
Oh, what about Just Shoot Me? Oh, that was a good one.
They did a great job on Just Shoot Me.
They really did.
I mean,
David Spade was the killer.
Yes. Killed with comedy.
he was killing some.
Slade.
ABC, after the show's success, wasn't having any of that, and they wanted to adhere to traditional storytelling devices that would deliver resolution to audiences and allow the protagonist, Dale Cooper and the residents of Twin Peaks, to then move on to the next storyline or adventure.
Log Lady, I want her
spin-off.
It's Log Lady.
Yeah.
My sister and her husband, they had the greatest dog of all time. He's a Labradoodle. His name was Marley. He's dead now. He's been dead a long time.
Okay.
But as you do, you replace a dog and you forget all about him and you erase his history.
Yeah.
And you bring in new dogs.
Sure.
And then instead of a Labradoodle, they got golden doodles.
Ah.
They got 2 golden doodles, and they named them Harry and Cooper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after
Really?
this, my sister has 2 dogs named Harry. I believe it was her husband who decided that would be their names.
And what's his name?
His name is Bob.
Oh dear.
That is, you know what? I never thought about that. That's funny.
Your sister's
I've never
dead,
thought
man.
about that.
Your sister's dead. She's fucking
She had a good run.
all right.
The
She
ch-
really did.
The chickens are not who you think they are.
They're, with Bob around, they're not going to be alive. I'll see myself out of my own house.
No. You stay. I love it.
I'll see myself out of my own house.
This kind of speaks to the perils of studio involvement versus a creator not being reined in versus just letting a creator create. Standard and Practices had a huge issue with that tiny R found under her fingernail in the autopsy scene. They felt very uncomfortable by how long they lingered on the letter. And Standards and Practices wanted it cut down. There's nothing offensive about it. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing bad. Nothing.
I thought it was way grosser how far it seemed like he was digging into her nail.
Yeah.
Versus the size and the amount of time they spent on the actual letter itself.
They wanted that cut down because it made them uncomfortable. Lynch stuck to his guns and it remained unchanged. And
then he shoved it back under the nail.
Made him watch that too.
Yeah, you take it. To this end, being pushed towards the network's demands, Lynch relented, and who the killer would be determined, and season 2 would proceed. Things did not go great exactly. We're not going to go as into detail with season 2 as we did with season 1. I truly do not want to give away the magic or the absurdity of this show.
I gave away the old man bit at the beginning because that's one of my favorites.
Because it's fucking hilarious.
It's inconsequential to the plot. It's just funny.
But in short, while hurt, Cooper hallucinates the character known as the Giant for the first time, who gives him 3 cryptic messages. No, I don't have them typed in here. Leo, the truck driver, did survive his injuries, but is severely brain damaged, and Leland Palmer's hair has gone stark white overnight as he has started behaving erratically.
Oh, Nancy, dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Oh, Mersey, dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Now if the words sound queer and funny to your ear, a little bit tumble and jivey, say mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy. I'm back. Back and ready.
Singing and dancing.
He's a sad dancing man.
Like, he was a sad.
Somebody dance with me.
Dance with
What's that song he sings? Something about
lambs and
that-
Kiddly divey too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Susan used to sing it all the fucking time.
And T-Bird from The Crow and was it David Patrick Kelly, the guy from the Warriors.
Yeah, he's
like eating pickled herring or something.
Yeah,
or
he's,
a chicken leg in one seed. It's just
Jerry.
So
He's Jerry
nuts.
Cooper, Ben Cooper's brother.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
They all
brother.
start singing together, and it's so weird.
It's very weird. We also learn that the otherworldly entities Mike and Bob are indeed real, and that Mike is inhabiting the body of Philip Gerard. Mike goes on to reveal that the maniacally violent and murderous Bob is inhabiting someone else in town. Donna ends up befriending a guy named Harold Smith.
The Orchid Man.
The Orchid Man.
Yeah.
And also, I believe, Chainsaw from Summer School.
Oh. I guess that is.
He looked familiar. That or he may have been one of the...
He did look familiar.
He may have been the second Lloyd Braun. I can't quite remember. Who, as it turns out, is in possession of what will become a key piece to the lore of Twin Peaks, the second secret diary of Laura Palmer. Donna and Laura's cousin Maddie attempt to steal the diary, which in turn causes Harold to spiral, resulting in him hanging himself. Cooper and the sheriff's department comes into possession of the secret diary, wherein they learn Leland's friend Bob had been sexually abusing her since childhood, resulting in her using drugs to cope and pushing Bobby in season 1 to sell drugs so she could have drugs. The initial suspicion by authorities is that Ben Horn is the killer, but all of this is turned upside down when it is revealed that Laura's father, Leland, is the killer, a fact shown to us when he also murders her nearly identical cousin, Maddie.
But he is possessed by Bob.
He is possessed by Bob. That's when we find out what these entities kind of are. You know, Mike had said, like, Bob is the killer. He is in this town somewhere, and he's possessing somebody. He has attached himself to Leland, and Leland killed Laura.
If you went by looks alone of all the characters, I would pick Leland. Ray Wise looks nuts.
Yeah,
guy looks fucking bonkers.
Absolutely. While many surreal and downright bizarre things would occur in Twin Peaks, the greatest and most important revelation or plot point would be the establishment and the lore surrounding the White Lodge and the Black Lodge. Otherworldly places, love and fear opening entrances to them, but only when Jupiter and Saturn are in alignment.
Now,
the age of Aquarius.
The Bookman people, that society... Are they aware of the White Lodge and the Black Lodge?
I can't answer that intelligently because I haven't finished season 2. I don't know if they're aware of the lodges. But Bobby Briggs's father, the military man, the Air Force.
Yeah, the bald gentleman.
He is aware of them.
Like
I said, this was difficult because I wanted to research it. I wanted to do an episode. But I'm like, I don't want to spoil this shit. I know some batshit crazy shit's coming that's me like out of left field, but there is going to be some stuff so integral to this world. I don't want to fucking ruin it for myself necessarily. So if you're looking for in-depth plot analysis and details, buddy, I ain't gonna have a shit ton of it. I'm gonna have the basics because I want to preserve this experience for myself. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
we're 2 hours in at this point anyway.
But like I said, that general knows more about these lodges, and I suspect going ahead into season 2, he knows quite a bit more about it, and the government is aware of it. So
you got to wonder how much were the Duffer Brothers inspired by something like this with the Upside Down and the Black Lodge, the military knowing about it being involved?
They absolutely were. They actually cite Twin Peaks as a direct influence for them. So by the season and series finale, 1, things have been batshit crazy in Twin Peaks. 2, the supposed Black Lodge seems to house beings of pure evil, and that is a power that season 2 antagonist Earl wishes to harness and exploit. 3, the room with red curtains, the red room Cooper has been seeing in his dreams, is in the Black Lodge. 4, this is where the evil feral Bob truly resides, as do the Giant, the Arm, a Laura Palmer doppelganger, I do believe, and doppelgangers of other townsfolk in the series finale.
Upside Down.
The Upside Down.
Lady Log.
Lady Log. 11
sounds like a lady hygiene product you'd see in the 1980s on a commercial.
Exactly.
It's the backwards look, lady.
It's a tampon that just lasts for days. Wow.
Lady Log.
I don't care. You can do it every time. I'm going to laugh at it. Any backwards.
It's the fact he really gets
any backwards
into it.
man. Yeah, it is. It's part. The
I need my
physicality is
hoodie
part
to
of it.
put it on, before I do it, but then I'm telegraphing it.
I'm the backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I can walk backwards fast as you can.
Dad, what? God, name are you doing, you stupid little man?
In the series finale, Earl takes Cooper's love interest that season, Annie, to the Red Room with the intent of killing her. In the final moments, Cooper is prepared to sacrifice his soul to save Annie. However, Bob reaps Earl's soul instead. Cooper is chased and caught by his doppelganger. Hours later, Cooper and Annie emerge from the woods, seemingly fine, until in the final scene of the initial series, we see Cooper at the Great Northern Hotel. He smashes his head against a mirror, his reflection now the image of Bob. All the while, he mockingly repeats the question, "How's Annie?" making it clear it is not Cooper himself that made it out of the Red Room. the Black Lodge, but rather his doppelganger that has taken his place in the real world.
The last episode of the series, they're probably like, we'll probably come back. They weren't. They're canceled. Is Kyle MacLachlan like laughing at himself in a mirror, and that's the end of the series.
That's it.
Spoiler alert.
For then,
I need to do some research on the third season that came out. 20 years later, or 20 or 30 years,
25 years later.
Did David Lynch write these? Did he direct all of them?
It was all David Lynch and Mark Frost.
Okay,
and they were the writers director. It was just the two of them.
I detached my retina watching the last half of the series, rolling my eyes so much. That's how fucking crazy the last half of that series was.
Crazy,
I hope
man.
that they got it back on track. Because did they do another 10, 15 episodes?
it's more than 10.
I think it was 17.
I think 17 does sound right.
But I'm the plan is once I finish season 2, I'm gonna dive in because those are on Showtime, which I have with my Paramount Plus.
Now, while Jason's looking something up, something
It says 18.
18. It was 18. Okay,
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
That's one season.
I will say, as far as themes in Lynch's work and in this show, and eventually the movie that went into a production almost immediately after the show, diegetic awareness shows up a lot in Lynch's work.
L. Ron Hubbard?
No, not Dianetics, diegetic. What it is in fiction, books, or film, it's when a character becomes aware that they are part of a piece of fiction and are serving the purposes of a narrative.
Should be called meta.
Well, and this was meta before meta.
I hate meta.
I don't like it either. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you're not
It's
a social media guy.
It's totally screwing with Facebook and Instagram.
It keeps telling me to be your friend, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh
much.
yeah, constantly telling me.
Yeah.
And I will say this in what I found. This is a hallmark of Lynch's work. Think of The Lost Highway, that kind of awareness figures in. And it's said we're not going to dive into it hardcore because we're not going to talk about it. We're going to save that for another episode. But Laura Palmer has diegetic awareness. That is seen more through flashbacks and the 1992 theatrical film Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, where we see the last 7 days of Laura's life. And it is much darker than the TV show.
Yeah, it's a full-on movie where they take advantage, I think, of nudity and full like swearing and violence and stuff. Yeah, it's much darker because the
much more
leash
violent.
was off.
Oh yeah,
in Fire Walk with Me. Yeah,
and I mean, it was panned by critics. It was a box office bomb. It was booed at Cannes.
You know anything about it?
The One-Eyed Jack features prominently, I'm guessing.
Are you gonna watch it or not?
I'll watch it.
Okay, there's I won't spoil it, but there's something you're gonna like in there.
Okay.
I won't spoil it.
This is the Backwards Man?
It is the Backwards Man.
Yes, it is.
It is the Backwards Man, and he works at the cheese sandwich factory. One thing I did find out about the movie
Daddy, would you like some coffee?
Daddy, would you like some cherry pie? Daddy, would you like some coffee?
Yeah, that's the crossover we want.
Yes,
I'd watch
with
that.
Rip Torn.
Twin-fingered.
One thing about the movie was it did really dive into themes of trauma, abuse, parental abuse, unfortunately incestuous parental abuse, and you had a lot of survivors of that reach out to Lynch or talk to him at cons. Same thing with Sherry Lynn, who played Laura Palmer, like expressing that to him and like how did you capture this so well? And it allowed them to have a huge release, seeing that and feeling that. And in subsequent years, and especially leading up to 2017's Twin Peaks: The Return, there is a much more that movie is reevaluated and looked at through a very different lens. But at its time when it came out in '92, it fucking tanked. My biggest question that I want to pose with this episode and to you gentlemen here: how did this change TV? In your opinion, face value, how did it change TV? And I'm going to preface with saying this sort of ambition at this point in time in television had never been attempted.
Yeah. It showed what a network might be willing to go along with for people that, like David Lynch, were hesitant to get into the medium of television, given its limitations for really in-depth, off-kilter stories.
Oh, yeah.
This showed that can be successful. It captured the nation's attention for that first season.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, that opens up the floodgates to other production companies and networks saying, like, well, we want to get our Twin Peaks, and that probably led to Fox creating and canceling so many damn series that only lasted one season and didn't go anywhere. Your Harsh Realms.
I was just going to say Harsh Realm. That's a fine example of it.
Just, X-Files wouldn't have existed without Twin Peaks.
No.
That's probably true, because I think X-Files did have a little bit of that weirdness and quirkiness.
Spooky Mulder.
And maybe that's its true legacy is they said, if you want it to and you allow it and you get the right people involved, TV can be weird. It's not just Mary Tyler Moore looking great in a dress and a guy berating her. It's not a guy getting a touchdown or a quiz master winning a show. It's not late night talk shows. It can be weird too.
Yeah,
TV can be weird,
and the audience that you're shooting for may not be the audience that latches on.
Yeah,
and you need to pivot. Yeah, not necessarily change what you're doing, but take into account, like, okay, we have a younger demo than we thought. They might be willing to go even more in the weeds than the boomers,
than the 35 and up crowd,
right?
In my opinion, this made television mature and graduate some from what seemed like more simple form television. Like you said, Mary Tyler Moore is a good example. These cookie cutter fucking... And unfortunately, we'd still see it continue into the 90s. How many single white lady in a big city working at a magazine of some sort shows did we see in the 90s? The Naked Truth.
Just Shoot Suddenly Susan. And Veronica's Closet.
Those are two different. Those are three different ones.
While listening to news radio.
Yes.
But that's
hold on.
But that's it.
You watch it there, bud.
but that's it. There's a formula.
Yeah.
And people like don't tell us who the killer is until season 3. Why? Because Sam and Diane don't get together until season 3.
Yeah.
You want to build that tension and make it last.
Yes.
Jim and Pam.
Oh, totally.
They don't go out on a date till the beginning of season 4. Or that's 3 years of you anticipating and know what's going to happen.
A lot of edging.
Yeah, it's
a lot of gooning.
It's edging your audience, and there's a formula to do that to string them along. To some degree, I'm sure that's what Lynch was doing, but to some other degree, he was playing with the formula.
He wanted to build tension for sure.
So TV can be weird.
And it showed that it didn't have to be this simple shit. It could be more ambitious. It could be more cinematic. It could be prestige. It could be a prestige format. So
without being on HBO.
Exactly. And you would not have HBO programming in the late 90s into the 2000s without David Lynch and Twin Peaks.
Or Brian Benben.
Oh, I think we'd still get Ben. Maybe. I don't know.
There was original programming, I think, in the 80s on HBO, but maybe something like this allowed it to evolve.
To evolve into The Sopranos and what have you.
And Oz. And
Weeds.
Yep.
Oz, for sure. Here's the other thing. Before this, no one really gave a shit about a show's music or its scoring. I would say a notable exception would be the Miami Vice soundtrack. That was a huge hit, but you had that theme from Jan Hammer, and you also had a lot of popular music on it, which featured in the show. It was very geisty at the time, but the composer who oversaw the scoring for the show, Angelo can you say the name for me? I'm gonna.
That's right.
I don't have it in front of me.
Badalamenti.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
This is the keyboard that all the major themes were created for Twin Peaks. It's an old Fender Rhodes and kind of beat up. And David would sit right over here, right to the right of me, and we would put a little cassette just about over here on this keyboard, just keep it in record and just keep it playing. David would sit here and I'd say, well, what do you see, David? Just talk to me. And David would say, okay, Angelo, we're in a dark woods now, and there's a soft wind blowing through some sycamore trees, and there's a moon out, and there's some animal sounds in the background, and you can hear the hoot of an owl, and you're in the dark woods. Just get me into that beautiful darkness with the soft wind. And I started playing. And David would say, Angelo, that's great. I love that. That's a good mood. But can you play it slower? And I'd say, slower, David? Okay. And I'd go. He says, that's it. That's a good tempo. Just keep it going slow like that.
He utilized several styles to create the musical atmosphere for the show, including soft piano, cool jazz featuring finger snaps.
That reverb guitar.
Oh, yeah. And light percussion, as well as dark synth and dream pop. The opening music and instrumental version of the song Falling is iconic. I was actually listening to it on the way here. And music from the show and movie have been made available on 4 different soundtrack releases. I need to get one.
Is this on Pure Moods as well, right? I feel like
the theme.
I feel like the theme is on one of the.
It's got to be on one of them. I don't know if it's on the original, but
because it's kind of all these different genres. It's kind of new agey.
It is a little new.
I feel like John Tesh is gonna walk in with some hot stones, and
basketball.
What isn't on it though is Ray Wise singing Mares Eat Oats and Dozy Dotes. That is not on Pure.
That's
Moods.
What it is. Mares Eat Oats and. Yeah,
I do remember that watching it, and I'm
so
just like,
fucking crazy, man, with that stark white hair.
If one man can pull it off,
it's Ray Wise. God damn it!
You need to go home. Your daughter died. Get some rest.
What is happening in this house? I also love that George Costanza's potential in-laws are both in this show. Sarah Palmer and Dr. Hayward. Though the show received some criticism due to the lack of racial diversity, which it's Washington State.
One Asian,
one Native American,
transplant too,
and she's a transplant from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The show is quite notable for early inclusions of a trans character, Field Agent Denise Bryson, introduced in season 2, portrayed by pre-X-Files David Duchovny.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes. Denise Bryson would go on in subsequent years to become a cult icon for transgender women. But yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
This was pre-X-Files, and you had mentioned X-Files. Chris Carter was heavily influenced by Twin Peaks.
In casting.
And casting, evidently. Swiftly reaching cult status in the 90s, the show also changed how people follow or engage with the show and fellow fans, as this was the early days of the internet and internet forums.
What?
So this very early days of it. So you had people like in forums and trying to figure
in
out
1990. Where you're meeting
between 90 and 92. Yeah.
Okay.
So as the show was happening, or are you talking about like afterwards? Because I feel like it wasn't until like 95-ish.
That's when we got
it was.
internet.
It was more mainstream then, but people were utilizing the internet before then. It just wasn't as readily available on home, but people were starting to engage online about this. Twin Peaks ran, in my opinion, so almost every series after could walk. Without it, you don't have X-Files. From X-Files, you don't have Millennium. You certainly don't have Picket Fences, which you brought up earlier. That was a fucking trippy show that explored the idea of like what actually goes on in a small town, what goes on behind closed doors.
Pushing Daisies, another weird show that loves pie.
Yes. Oh, who doesn't love pie? You have no Sopranos. You have no Lost. You have no Breaking Bad. Even into the modern era of streaming, you don't have shows like Stranger Things. The Duffer Brothers cite it as a huge inspiration to them, and Lynch's work in general. Besides, that's also a show, you had mentioned government interference. It also features a picturesque, idyllic small town unraveling under the weight of some sort of strange supernatural occurrences or presence. The thematic moodiness and aesthetics of Riverdale can also draw its roots to fucking Twin Peaks.
And that throwback look and style, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and just like the darkness, and there's a lot of like gloomy weather versus neon in that show.
Oh, yeah.
Or neon lighting rather. But here's what's crazy: even the animated series Gravity Falls makes references to the Black Lodge,
the Cartoon Network show.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
well. Speaking of the Black Lodge, there's a video store in Memphis, I think, called that. And,
Yeah.
and didn't we meet someone at Ernest Day who
Zach.
worked there?
Yeah, Zach Parks.
Thank you.
Did we interviewed
He sat
him?
in.
Did
He
we?
sat on one of our Ernest Day episodes, and yeah, he was wearing a hat or a shirt.
Now,
of
did
it.
he
And you
work there?
comment- Yes.
Or-
he,
okay.
Yeah, he worked there.
I was going to say Black Lodge Video.
I looked
Very
it up
good.
getting ready for this. It's still open. And
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
what I didn't realize is it's also like a venue. Like
Oh, really?
Like small bands and stuff can
Okay.
perform there. It seems like a pretty rad place, honestly. It sounded cool when he was talking about it. I remember a little bit.
It sounds
but
awesome. Fuck
yeah, pretty cool. And it's there's more inspiration years later.
Exactly.
It's still inspiring people.
Absolutely. Speaking of inspiration, the show would inspire tie-in novels at the time. The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, written by Lynch's daughter Jennifer. Frost's brother Scott would write the autobiography of Special Agent Dale Cooper, My Life, My Tapes. Kyle MacLachlan would record Diane, the Twin Peaks tapes of Agent Cooper. 2016 and 17 would see the releases of The Secret History of Twin Peaks and Twin Peaks, The Final Dossier. After the series ended in 1991, a full-length theatrical film would see release, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk With Me, and it would debut at Cannes a day before my 10th birthday, May 16, 1992. As I said, it was booed a lot.
When looking at all the director stuff under David Lynch, it seemed like every few years he was still doing something related to Twin Peaks. A lot more little like projects and things that I had no idea about, whether it was like a fan gathering or something that he made something for. Like he always kind of had his toe in it for much more than I thought he did.
So he clearly enjoyed it.
Does. Yeah, I think this was kind of a very
This is his avatar,
special
man.
baby to him.
This is the world that he
built.
Yeah, and so he gets to play in it like James Cameron in Avatar. Yeah.
It would also be released at the ass end of the summer film season, coming out August 20th, 1992. Like I said, we're not going to dive into it because I want to do a dedicated episode to this, but a lot of the series regulars would return. It was a very different film. It was a much darker. What caught me off guard when I was watching some stuff about it, Laura Flynn Boyle did not come back in it as Donna. She was replaced by Moira Kelly. Kyle MacLachlan ended up requesting to have minimal involvement with the film due to fears of being typecast, which resulted in a reduced role. But it does dive into the nature of Bob, the darkness within Leland, and the tragic final week of Laura Palmer's life.
I feel like in the pilot you're seeing Kyle MacLachlan arrive.
Yeah,
Twin Peaks.
there's no reason for him to be.
So it makes sense that he has a reduced role, even though people are probably expecting him to be in it in some capacity, given the series.
He wasn't in the town, so
yeah. And if anything, like it's a prequel sequel. Evidently, it does dive into that other murder. That's where Chris Isaac and Kiefer Sutherland's FBI characters come into play. But the real plot of it all is like, what was the last week of Sarah Palmer's life leading up to her death, and how did we get here?
Laura Palmer?
What did I just
say? You did do Sarah Palmer.
Did I say Sarah Palmer that time?
Yep.
Sorry, Laura Palmer.
Vindicated.
Not from earlier.
Fucking vindicated.
Not from earlier.
Thank God Almighty, vindicated at last.
I gotta play that Dashboard Confessional song now from the Spider-Man's soundtrack.
Yes, you do.
I wish you'd play the backwards man.
Spider-Man. Flippy the world Spider-Man.
Wow.
It's a stretch. Still works. Stretch.
Still works. It still works, damn it. What's interesting about this to me, Laura Palmer's line in the finale, she tells Agent Cooper, "See you in 25 years." Twin Peaks: The Return debuted on Showtime on May 21st, 2017. Damn near 25 years later, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 25 years later, they're going back to that world. It ran for 18 episodes, and it was written and directed by Lynch and Frost only. That series did pick up with Agent Cooper still in the Red Room and eventually escaping it. Surreal scenarios ensue, and plot threads from the film would also be touched upon, resulting in fans.
Hopefully, he knew that he had 18 episodes. It was like, we're going to wrap it up by then. This is the story.
Well, I think they tried to make him do it tighter. He goes like, no, it needs to be longer.
Well, whatever that looked like, I hope he got to do it the way he wanted to and wrap it up with no like, okay, so in a couple years we'll do another season. Be like, no, this is the story I want to tell, and I can say it definitively ends here.
Oh no, he got to do it the way he wanted.
So I would like to watch that, honestly.
Yeah,
because
I'm looking forward to getting to that.
If you like, there's a lot of notable characters in the original series, like you said, people from other Lynch films, or these character actors, whatever. A lot of people wanted to be a part of this next series when it came out. You'll see people like Laura Dern and Naomi Watts, big name actors who show up in the revival series. Yeah. So that'd be an interesting watch.
And Laura Dern is good. That woman has just aged beautifully. She's a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. I think she looks better now than she did in like Jurassic Park.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all.
Really?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I gotta think
she looks good.
Yeah. I have a thing for older women, man.
Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah. No, it ran. Yeah, they were the only two dealing with that show. It got to do it the way they wanted. And all of this resulted in fans and critics reevaluating the movie. As far as like merch and shit, it's Twin Peaks. There's not exactly a toy line or a kids tie-in meal. There was evidently trading cards back in the day. Funko Pop refuses to leave any stone unturned, and goddammit, you can in fact get a dead Laura Palmer wrapped in plastic. Funko
Really?
Pop. Yep.
Huh.
There ain't a fucking Funko Pop they won't make, except for Ernest. Anyways, David Lynch, of course, passed away just over a year ago, January 16th of 2025. And while revisits and reboots, returns to the well have all been the rage for a while, Lynch's passing, hopefully, I really hope so, likely closes the book on Twin Peaks as it should.
Yeah.
It does not need to be revisited. No. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't go back and fuck with it. Don't try to redo it. Just leave it the fuck alone, man. Final thoughts on Twin Peaks, gentlemen?
Boy, sit yourself down and watch those first 14 episodes.
There's a bevy of videos you can watch that will advise you on what episodes to skip.
That's been my last couple weeks.
But I'm going to do it. I'm going to white knuckle through even the crazy
It goes way
ones.
off the rails in literally the 50%, the last 50% of episodes. It goes way off the rails. But there is something interesting to be mined in there. It's a weird miracle thing done by a flailing network to try to garner something, and for a minute they did. So from failure can come success sometimes, and David Lynch made his mark on TV forever, and people obviously are still talking about it. Give it a little bit of a watch. See if you like it. I'm excited to check out the later series. I think I really am going to do that.
Do it, man. Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Because, well, and I'll say this eventually, we had talked about different guests for tonight. Your brother was potentially going to join us. Tyler, your co-host on Radio Rewind every Friday on the Drunken Lullaby feed, had expressed interest in being on this episode, but with everything we were going to dive into and the fact that we were going to have an interview.
And that you made us eat pie.
And I made you eat pie and donuts, and you're welcome. We opted to just keep it to the three of us, but I want to give a special thanks to Corey for this episode. This is, in my opinion, he's 2 for 2 in kind of challenging.
What was his other one? Battlestar?
Oh, no, that was
Battlefield Earth?
That was our very dear friend, Adam.
He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, Tank Girl was his other one, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to redeem himself this year.
What was Corey's other one?
Corey chose Ultraman in general, and then in talking and planning his episode, we landed on Ultraman in the 80s. And I had a lot of fun exploring that, because here is something with Spider-Man level popularity for Japan. Yeah, it has an audience here, but it's insane. But like, one of my favorite things about doing that episode was discovering that it was basically like a pilot movie. It shockingly never went to a series. It was like an 80s animated film where it's like an Ultraman team in the United States. Their headquarters is in Mount Rushmore. Adrian Barbeau is a voice. I want that to be a future episode. Because of this, I want us to have a Twin Peaks sequel episode where we talk about Fire Walk with Me and The Return.
I'll say he's 2 for 2. I don't care about Ultraman at all, but the 1980s, like the aesthetic of Ultraman is very cool.
Right? Like
it's very cool.
I like that I found that Oliver Tree song from the Ultraman Netflix movie. I wish there was an Oliver Tree song about Twin Peaks.
Oh, there might be.
Yeah,
if not, maybe AI can help you out there. Yeah, you do.
Where am I supposed to shit?
Not unless
Twin
it pertains,
Susan.
Not unless it pertains to my asshole, definitely.
That's a good song.
But no, I mean, a very special. Before we go into commercial, a very special thank you to Corey, because these are 2 times you've kind of challenged me in regards to a writing exercise as far as planning stuff, but open my horizons to some different things, and ultimately put me in a position to where I want sequel episodes to what you've chosen. I want to cover that Ultraman cartoon. I want to revisit Twin Peaks, and talk more about Fire Walk with Me and The Return as well. I mean, we dive into all that tonight, but it would be the longest night ever.
Longer than this?
Longer than this. Longer than Ghostbusters. But that said, unless any of us have anything else to say about Twin Peaks, we are going to go ahead and kick the commercial, and we will be right back after this brief message.
Sheriff, it's Pete Martell up at the mill. I'm going to transfer it to the phone on the table by the red chair. The red chair against the wall. The little table with the lamp on it. The lamp that we moved from the corner. The black phone, not the brown phone.
What kind of fantastic trees have you got growing around here? Big, majestic.
Douglas firs.
Douglas firs. Who's the lady with the log?
I would call it a log lady.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
Mr. Cooper, how do you take it?
Black as midnight on a moonless night.
Pretty black. Fellas, don't drink that coffee. You'd never guess. There was a fish in the percolator.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
Percolator.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
Percolator.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the
percolator.
Damn fine cup of coffee. Damn fine patron pick. Damn fine episode with a damn fine interview. But the fun is just getting started for this month. Join us next time as we do it shorty style with a blink and you miss it 80s IP that is oft forgotten. Tune in next Monday for Sky Commanders. I wrote that episode in 35 minutes.
Took longer to record.
Laser cables. Laser cables.
Laser cats.
That's
an episode. Now that's an episode.
That could be an episode. I plugged it while we were going through Radio Rewind, of course, every Friday. But I do want to give a special plug to our man Quip. He has his own show outside of GDL that he does every Monday. It's usually 6:30 Pacific time on the old YouTubes, and that is Blurred Alert. Blurred is a Natalie Portmanteau for Black and Nerd.
Okay.
So check that out. They dive into toy shit that we all love. Socials, you can of course engage with all of us on X. You can engage with the show on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, and you can of course engage on YouTube as well. Back episodes have been going up at the time of record. I'm almost done getting season 2 up. I just got to get the Christmas episode. So the goal of slowly catching up with the main releases is getting there. Here at the end, we of course want to thank our producers, and that's going to be Mo, Patron Mike, Nostalgia Nate. Great Mo2 picks from him lately. He's showcasing a lot of his vintage figures on his Instagram. Mike Afonso, Allison Troy, and I want to give one more special thank you and shout out once again to the patron who picked this episode, Corey, affectionately known as Bucyrus. I again want to thank Owen Hammer of Hammered Out, and of course I want to thank my possible third cousin Richard Hoover for making a little time for us tonight to speak about his work and dive into the visualization that went into making Twin Peaks what it was.
He's a great man.
A very cool guy, very generous with his time, and I think it was nice to do simply because all too often I think things like the set designers and set dressers, they're overlooked, and that can make or break a movie or show as far as like setting the mood and setting the visuals and making you feel something. So Richard, once again, thank you for your time. I really hope we continue to stay in contact, and whether or not it turns out we're related, I do hope we can go out and get some damn fine coffee and damn good cherry pie too. If you yourself are in the position to help our humble show grow, won't you please consider becoming a patron today at patreon.com/Yesterdaze podcast. That is going to wrap it up for Yesterdaze this week, but come back next Monday and we're going to do it again. Bye-bye.